السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Welcome to a new session of our Ramadan 2025 series on إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت. I'm seeking reform to the best of my ability. Today we are going through session 5, which is the heart as a foundation of reform or corruption. So what if I told you that your heart is actually the control center of your life? What if I told you that everything that you are doing, every thought, every decision, every action begin in your heart? And if your heart is pure, then your life will be full of goodness. If your heart is corrupted, then your life will be affected accordingly. So today's session is talking about such an important topic because every step towards reform begins from within. So if we want to change ourselves, if we want to change our families, our society, we need to start from our heart. And let's dig deep into the first verse that we will go through today. That actually it's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ is telling us that there is a piece of flesh. ألا إن في الجسد لمضغة إذا فسدت إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. That indeed in the body there is a piece of flesh. If it's sound, the entire body will be sound. And if it's corrupt, then the entire body will be corrupt. So it is, and the Prophet ﷺ was talking about the heart. So your heart is your foundation of faith, your foundation of actions, your foundation of morals. And a sick heart will be resulting in a troubled soul, will be resulting in completely distorted actions. Now, that hadith is even fortified and strengthened by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah Al-Shura, in Surah Al-Shu'ara, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. That day in which nothing will benefit you, neither your wealth nor your children, except that person who is coming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a sound heart, with a clean heart. So nothing will help you and except that sound heart. And when we talk about defining what is a sound heart, the sound heart is it's free from hatred, it's free from hypocrisy, it's free from arrogance and any spiritual diseases. So this is actually the main source of not only your sound life, but for you to be a reformer, you need that sound heart. And look at that hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that what is the one thing that takes people to paradise the most, that grants people paradise the most? When the Prophet ﷺ was asked, what leads most people to paradise? He said, taqwa and good character. Taqwa wa husn al-khuluq. And like narrated by Tirmidhi, and it's hadith sahih. So the good character and taqwa come from a heart. This is the source of these two reflections or two consequences. You need to have a sound heart that would result in taqwa and would result in husn al-khuluq. And you need to have a heart that is full of sincerity and purified from negativity. So your heart controls your actions. Purify it or your actions will actually be distorted. Purify it and your actions will follow. And now, when we look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, when we look at how the Prophet ﷺ was known with his clean heart, known of his mercy, and the main the great example here is in the conquer of Mecca. And when the Prophet ﷺ entered, and all his kinship and the leaders of Quraysh that were opposing him, and they were asking him, what are you going to do with us? How are you going to punish us? And they know that they tortured the Prophet ﷺ and they have given him the hardest times ever. He told them, اذهبوا وأنتم الطلقاء. So he actually freed them because of his heart, because he wanted to conquer their hearts. And guess what? When your heart is sound, you are able to conquer the other hearts as well. Exactly how the Prophet ﷺ has done it. And Not only the Prophet ﷺ, his companions was going on his footsteps. Look at Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Look at Umar ibn al-Khattab, the man who was full of harshness. Look at how he became full of wisdom, and he became that person that his heart is managing him, is running him to become one of the best Khalifas ever. And now comes our action plan. How to purify your heart and start with your internal reform. Number one, have a daily checkpoint. Have a daily self-check. You need to ask yourselves, did I feel anger, envy, or arrogance today? How did my heart behave? Try to rerun the whole movie of the day and then actually ask yourself, why did I do this? Why did I do that? How did my heart react in each and every one of these scenes or these actions or these incidents? And make it a habit for you to actually consult with your own self and try to purify your heart. And guess what? This can't happen except when you are able to free yourself from all distractions and spend some time calm with yourself, by yourself. No electronics whatsoever. You are not trying to scroll down on your phone, or you are not getting distracted by anyone. Try to isolate yourself for a few minutes, for half hour, and try to work on your heart. The other thing which is extremely important is increase istighfar. Increase asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. Increase for dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like, ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the dua in Surah Al Imran, verse 8, our Lord, do not let our hearts deviate after you have guided us, and grant us mercy from yourself. So asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep your heart in check all the time, to help you to have a sound heart, is one of the crucial points that we will have in our action plan. And the third thing is get away from distractions. Remove harmful influences. Try to stay away from people who are toxic. Try to stay away from media that will have a negative effect on your heart. Try to stay away from negativity. Try to stay away from desires. Whatever you know for a fact, and you are the most knowledgeable of your own heart, whatever you know that this thing or person or action will have a negative effect on your heart, please stay away from it and put together a plan as to how to consistently stay away from it. At the end, your heart is your most valuable asset. Keep it pure. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those people whom whenever they listen to the truth, they follow the best out of it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وجزاكم الله خيرا, and have a beautiful Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.